Welcome, it is 6:45, we're ready to roll here
That's cool.
on our big chunky agenda. Does anyone have any questions about all these awesome proclamations we're doing? Because Macedonia is such an awesome place with all these awesome people. All right, let us move along to ordinance 41, the Recreation Trust Fund for certain parks and recreation department revenue. Mr. Veras?
Well, do we want to put John on the spot, or do we want to?
Do you know about the,
I'm prepared to be on the spot.
all right,
Okay.
can you tell us about the Recreation Trust Fund ordinance?
So this fund will be used to accept money like sponsorship dollars, non-earmarked donations, whether it's a dollar amount or a percentage of some registration revenue, to then be able to apply it directly to those things. So for example, like our swim team revenue, a child signs up, would take a portion of that has been already appropriated for other items like program costs and some other things that run our USA program team, and would be able to take that money directly and apply it towards those costs in a line item. Another example would be if we received a donation specifically for something regarding like Fall Fest, for example, and entertainment. We could take that money and use it directly to pay for the entertainment for Fall Fest. If someone came forward and said, I'd like to donate money specifically for X, Y, or Z, we could then put it into that fund, which would allow us to appropriate it to the correct place.
Also with sponsorships?
Yes, also a sponsorship.
So how are you handling sponsorships now?
We accept that money, and then JV, you have to maybe help me on that, exactly where it goes, but that sponsorship money comes in, and essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like basically treated as a revenue.
Right.
And so it's in like a lump sum revenue category that's not really able at the moment to be able to direct directly
okay.
to where that sponsorship was indicated for. And so this would allow us to do that.
Okay, excellent explanation.
No issue with that, Mr.
Jen.
Veras?
No, no.
Do you want the carve out?
Yeah, he didn't mention the word, so yes.
So, right now, the way the ordinance is drafted, it includes any sponsorship funds received from the rec center. In Director Chaddock discussing with Director Veras, I think the request is to amend the ordinance to have a carve out for any sponsorship funds concerning
The
Summer Fest.
Spirit
of
of
Macedonia
Macedonia
Summer Fun
Fest.
Fest.
See, the reason I didn't say that was because I was instructed not to.
Yes, no, you followed direction. And the reason for that is we already have
Okay.
a
Right.
fund for that.
That's what I thought. So any sponsorship money you get that's not related to the Spirit of Macedonia will go into this, and then it'll be easier to direct to where it was meant to go.
Right.
So do we need to amend that today? Can you write that up for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. All right, any other questions on that?
Are we doing it 1, 2, 3, or first reading only, or?
I would-
Everyone be amenable to 1, 2, 3 on that?
I'm fine.
It seems like just some paperwork, we're already getting that money. All right, let's do that 1, 2, 3, please. All right, the NOPEC community grants.
So this is the funds that we get each year that are funding the lights in the ballpark, if you recall. I think it's over a 3-year span, so we get that in increments every 3 years that is
This
funding.
is year 2.
Year 2 of the second of 3 years for funding the second set of lights on the ball fields.
Any questions with this?
I'll be abstaining.
Because you're on the NOPEC board, or
executive
because?
board.
Okay. Thank you. So
I'll
I guess you
abstain,
can't.
too.
I guess you can't.
I'll do the rest, but I'll abstain.
You need to bring
Can't you still read it?
Yeah,
Can't you still read it?
Sure.
Okay.
it's just the vote.
Thank you. Good eye. All right, number 43, the purchase of a 2022 Eldorado Advance.
So you may recall that we had talked previously about purchasing a bus, community bus. It's now coming into fruition. So this is essentially the purchase of that bus. We found one, I believe it's down in Florida. Is that where it was
Yes,
at?
yes, sir.
And it's within the budgetary constraints that we have, and we could finally get it and bring it here and start to get moving on those activities. So
That's awesome that you found a 2022. Thought you were gonna get
I-
end up with like a 1985
I
bus or
can't believe we
something.
found it. I'm
Low
like
mileage, and the thing is,
0. It's brand new.
Yeah.
oh, it should.
Well, and there was another one that had located previously and then
It was gone
something
instantly.
like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so it's, it's really at that point, if you don't help me and accept this, I don't know that we're gonna get it.
What was the cost again?
In total, not to exceed 115.
Yeah.
Including freight to get it to the city, fees and that kind of stuff, it's 114.9 and change, so under 115.
I'd like to do this 1, 2, 3 so we can get this moving, not let this
Alright.
bus slip out of our hands. We have been waiting for this for a long time.
Not that long. It hasn't been in the budget previous years.
We've been
so-
talking about it, yeah.
Should have went to Charleston, they had it for less, they had it for half the price.
What do you mean?
I know, my brother, his son-in-law bought one, his business. It's half the price.
All right, 5 Ford Explorers. Mayor?
More the
Chief?
This is just our quest to get police vehicles. Now, the Dodges still haven't come through. Ford originally canceled our order, and then they said they could provide 5, or I take that back, 3. And then the dealership statewide said, you know what, we know the pickle you guys are in. We can find you 2 more that we had promised to somebody else who's having difficulty getting financing. So as it stands, we get 5. That'd be great. We still haven't seen the other 2, so I'm not. If they show up. Yeah, if they show up, so.
Are these in addition to the Tahoes?
Yes, and the Tahoes, those were, same thing, we're scrounging for vehicles. We still have 6 Dodges technically on order. I want to cancel that order, at least 4 of them, because we weren't sure if we we're gonna get these other 2 Interceptors. Right. And statewide said, you know what, we can't stock Fords, we can't get the inventory, so we're gonna keep your order in, and if you guys get the cars you need, we're gonna keep your 6 Durangos. I mean, there's agencies all over the state, everywhere, that just can't find cars.
Got it. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm aware of that.
So we're gonna have 5 Tahoes and 5 Explorers, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well, we also, if you notice, they're all sitting out on the back lot. We've had the Tahoes for some time, but we're waiting on the parts for those. And unfortunately, this week, where we lost another vehicle, it was, one of our officers was struck. He's okay, we'll make that very clear, but I think that vehicle's a toll, so we are really in a pickle.
All right, well, as usual, we kind of need to run these through. Is everyone okay with 1, 2, 3 on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll do such. All right, 45, new equipment for the police department.
This is the financing of the 5 Explorers
Okay.
And
outfitting.
and outfitting, yeah.
Any questions on that? Let's do that 1, 2, 3 as well to make them coincide. All right, the bid for the Longwood Park multi-purpose field expansion project, which we just did last meeting. And we have the bids all ready and settled, Mr. Doyle?
We do. This is, as a reminder, council had already approved the opportunity to bid, and we have received those bids. We are seeking approval to award the bid of the lowest and best bid. I say lowest and best, meaning it was the lowest, but it was the best in terms of what they could offer us, the time frame in which they can get it done, and some of the other bids just didn't come through on the materials that was needed. So we have identified that, and this project is part of the pre-planned capital that will be set to start and finish in May, pending weather. So it'd be about a week's time in May as this entire project will be started and finished, as
Oh,
long as
wow.
weather cooperates.
That would
Yeah,
be
much
great.
sooner than we anticipated that it could get done.
Is it gonna involve planting grass though?
Yeah, it's regrading. We have
Okay.
a large portion of field space to the west of the ball fields that is just unusable at the moment.
Right,
And-
so it won't be ready to use in June, but
Right.
Yeah, they'll
We're
be done
looking
with
at
their
fall,
work. Okay.
like September would potentially be ready to use.
Well, as we usually do with bids, folks, let's do this 1, 2, 3 so they can get that signed off on if we vote it.
And what is the total cost?
1 second.
Because it's 5 times almost 80 grand. And then we also pay the $350 equipment cost.
I believe it's 58,850.
Say it again,
58,850.
58,000?
Yes.
But why does it say annual lease payments? Or am I reading?
You're
it
looking
wrong?
at the Fords, I think.
That's for the police vehicles? The Huntington, are you looking at?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we kind of skipped, we kind of blew through that one, Jan, because it was just,
6% right?
So it's
You
50,
guys were sent this right?
60, I round up.
Yes, sir.
always.
58,850.
I'm gonna retract that, I apologize. I was looking at the wrong chart. It's slightly more than that, 65.
65, yeah.
65 even.
Well, I rounded to 60.
Yeah, the lowest was 58, but they didn't have all the documentation, it looks, so.
The lowest bid was incomplete essentially, so
Yeah.
it didn't qualify as a bid.
All right, so we will get that, 1, 2, 3. Next is a fire alarm system for City Hall. I know we've talked about this.
Mr. Collins will be happy to speak to that.
Hi, so basically what this system's gonna do is it's gonna replace the sensors and the cards. The cards right now have been a habitual problem in the system. Dispatch has worn out a silence button because the alarm goes off literally sometimes 10, 15-minute increments. It's a really, really old system that needs to be replaced. This will be phase 1. This will replace all the fire controls, and then we want to route the safety door controls for the jail off of the fire system and onto the current Motorola system that they have for dispatch consoles. So that'll be the second part of this, but we have to replace all the cards and all the old failing end-of-life equipment first.
So is it gonna be double 150? Or
No.
150 is gonna cover the whole thing?
No, that covers that covers the first part, which is probably about 85-90% of the work. From there, it's just going to be some programming, and we should have enough space on our current hardware when it was purchased for the Motorola consoles that we should have enough space to hook all of those.
So the whole
doors
project,
into it.
first and second phase, will be within this 150,000?
No.
No?
No, this covers the first part.
Okay.
We don't have a price on the second part
Gotcha.
yet, but it should be much less expensive. Sub $10,000,
Okay.
probably sub $5,000. So.
Sounds good.
I want to thank you for using the right verbiage and not using that single word that I despise so much.
And he has no idea what you're talking about, so now you have to use it.
I hate to hear the word cheap. You did it.
No,
Okay.
This should be done right. Right now, the way their doors are controlled is they use analog switches on a piece of metal, and that's how it triggers all of their doors. And they have an issue sometimes where a jail door will stay open because the button sticks. So we really don't want that to happen. So the final goal is to have one of the physical button boards there in case we have an emergency, but completely rebuilt, and then have everything digitally, all the digital door controls, right where dispatch is already using other things, including other doors.
Excellent.
So everything will be better in the long run, and we'll replace cards that are failing that have to be replaced. Right now, the fire system is not in any shape that we want it to be in.
All right, excellent. Thanks for getting that together. Let's do 1, 2, 3 on that, if you will, folks, just so we can get this project rolling.
This is at state pricing too.
All right.
Well, the bid was
Yeah.
state,
Well,
national bid.
right.
The road salt contracts, everyone should be aware of how this works by now. Do we even need road salt at this point? I mean, how much?
Not necessarily.
Next week.
Yeah, that's true, next week, yeah. We use it all. Everyone's roads is gonna have 4 inches of salt.
We do have plenty put away. Everything we have is undercover. We did kind of have to make another makeshift barn to get everything we had undercover. But that's why we are asking permission to enter the contract for like 3,000 ton this year. Last year, I think we asked for 4,000. So we did scale it back a little bit. It's not like if we have a bad winter, I'm sure we can still get a whole salt, but we did scale it back a little bit. So that's where we are.
It's not a calendar year contract either, that's why.
Right. It's
It'll say
a
April 30th.
23, 24
Right,
contract.
right. I was just making reference to the fact that we barely used any this year, this past year.
We
you know?
did, yeah.
And just so the public knows, this is something that we do every year, this time of year, and you have to get in because you have to get in at this price, right?
Right.
If you don't, you're not guaranteed
Yeah, it's
sold
an,
for
it's
a
an
price.
ODOT bid price that they, you know, bid on, bid out or whatever, so we're guaranteed to buy the 3,000 at that price.
Excellent. Let's do 1, 2, 3 on this, just so we can get in on all the deadlines and have our I's dotted and T's crossed on that. You know how important salt is. All right, the disposition of property, that was police? Yeah.
These are 3 end-of-life vehicles. One of them is a 2013 Dodge Charger. It was a patrol vehicle, then it got cycled into the Detective Bureau, now it's just end-of-life. It's got 106,000 miles on it, and it's 10 years old. That's tough for, you know, a police car, when they do 3 or 4 or 5 years as a patrol vehicle, usually we get rid of them then. At the time, we didn't have any vehicles, so we had to move it there. The same thing with the 2014 Ford Interceptor SUV. It's got over 100,000. It did its time in patrol, then moved to the Bureau, end of life. The last one was the 2012 Smart Car. That was acquired by the city after an arrest, and we applied for a title as being an abandoned vehicle. And the frame is just, it's in bad shape. The mechanics recommend we don't even drive it anymore, so it's just all 3 end of life, time to get done.
It's the end of the era of the
Yeah,
of the
well, I
little
can tell
smart
you,
car.
when we finally get our cars in and upfitted, we're gonna have a whole long list, because what we're driving now needs to be added to this pile.
Mhm.
So, it's just, yeah.
All right, this is routine. Let's do 1, 2, 3 on this, please. All right, so now we're getting to the recommendations from the Charter Review Commission. This first one is regarding the composition of the Board of Zoning and Building Code of Appeals. Mr. Garvis?
So, the Charter Review Commission has actually taken quite a few topics under consideration already. And this one was brought to us by the building director and somebody from BZA whose name just slipped my mind, Brian France. Yeah. And the idea was that there are other communities that apparently have backup members or alternates in their BZA, so that if there are vacancies on a BZA, there's already people available to fill in those vacancies. It's just like every other member of the BZA, that they're still appointed by the mayor, they would still get approved by council. This is something that the commission thought was a good idea. We worked with Mark to come up with the legislation. And is this the one we need to do an amendment to?
Yes.
Are we ready to do that tonight, or should we just put this on first read?
I think first read and
Okay.
then.
Well, I mean, we do first read anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and then we can work up some language.
Okay. There's an amendment that we meant to adopt in the commission, and I got confused on the emails between Mark and I. It's all my fault. So the commission passed this with one modification that allows the secretary to be an employee of the city, but there's an additional amendment that's, which one?
So I had just suggested there's already some similar language in the charter regarding the Civil Service Commission secretary, and this would just mirror it essentially and be cleaner for the city's purposes.
Right.
A little more consistent.
So that's the gist of it. If anybody has any questions, there actually happen to be 2 members of the Charter Review Commission here in the audience today.
And with the alternates, so this was for the Board of Appeals, or would they come to
Yes,
the meeting?
BZA.
Okay, so,
And Mark can elaborate on that, because we have questions of if they should come or not come.
and I had a question too, like when you do an appeal, you have to have so many board members there to do your appeal?
Yeah, you need X amount of affirmative votes. I think it's 3 affirmative votes to
So
do
would
anything.
these people be allowed to, not just become a new member, but fill in, say I need something for a variance
That's all
on Tuesday?
That's all they're doing. They're just filling
That is
in
all they're
on
doing?
a temporary
Okay.
basis.
All
Yeah,
right,
so
the
the
way you
board's
explained
not,
it,
the
I
board's
understood
staying a
different.
5-member board
Right.
for voting purposes. Those are the 5 regular members that are already appointed. And then you're gonna have these 2, you can call them float members or alternates. And whenever one of the regular members is absent, then the alternate will come in for that meeting
Okay.
or, the 2 meetings, whatever the case may be, and have a vote.
So that's
just like a regular member.
just to assure a quorum.
No, it's more than a quorum, right?
It
Quorum
could
is
be for
three.
a quorum, it could be to have 4, it could be to have 5. It's basically to fill in the absence of up to 2 members per meeting.
But this is good, it helps keep business and things moving along with the building department, and it helps residents when they have appeals, it helps them get their meetings done and get
Yeah,
their appeals.
and I think the public policy perspective on this is the city has made it, the voters have made a determination that the city should have a 5-member BZA, and this will help ensure that there's 5 members on the BZA hearing
At all times.
applications.
To just elaborate on that, Mr. Rodick made it clear in one of our commission meetings that there are times when someone will come to the BZA, and if they know there aren't gonna be 5 people there, they don't want their issue heard that night.
Mm.
And
Okay.
they'll have to wait a whole nother calendar month to come back.
Yeah, that's good. That's good for helping businesses and residents. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. All right, and then so we're just gonna do one read on that, folks. And also, I'd like to do just one read on the next one, but talk about that one. The rewriting of the Parks and Recreation section of the charter.
Did you wanna talk to it?
Sure. So basically, it's a rework of the parks portion of the charter, because when it was first written, it was only written for the Parks Commission, or whatever it's called, the committee. And then this one basically reorganizes it to make it look like everything else, make it seem like everything else. And then I think it removes a clause from the commission stating that they would recommend an individual for the park director to be mayor, or to the mayor.
Yeah.
Which could be confused as them, it being required that they recommend that person for it to be a thing. So basically a rework, so that's how we seen it.
Yeah, I think the language there was under the advice of the commission, almost like it was the US Senate approving a
Right,
nomination.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's.
And that's a lot of the kind of language we eliminated with the last charter review,
Right.
so that's good to have it more consistent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did we miss anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think the broad perspective is the entire Article 13 of the charter was surrounded or centered on the Parks and Recreation Commission. And I think that's because we originally had a Parks and Rec Board, which became the commission at the time of the charter in 71, I think, when the charter and code were passed. And that's transformed obviously over the years into the department, so this just now reflects, we have the Parks and Rec Department. It has those provisions for Parks and Rec Department employees up front, then it has the Parks and Rec Commission at the end, with the change that Vinnie noted.
So what you're saying in this change, that the Parks and Recs Commission can recommend?
No, it's
That's how it
removing.
currently is.
Oh, it's removing that.
They remove, if you look at the ordinance, that line is,
Okay.
It puts the power to
It's
appoint
got a line
the director
through it
back in
saying-
the hands of the mayor.
Okay.
you don't
Solely
need
in
a
the- solely.
recommendation.
Solely in the,
Yeah.
okay.
It's really, in my opinion, it's a cleanup.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the way we
It's
opt
the way
out
it's
to-
been operating. This is,
Do you have anything to add at this point?
No, I just want to say, it's more or less a rewording of what's already been discussed. It's just directing it to you.
not
Not
he's the second in command.
Or to the mayor, but
Yeah,
through,
right.
through the
Direct.
director of park.
And it's, how everything already works. We're just making sure that we're getting reality or the charter in line with reality, so.
It's a good way of putting it.
Right? All right, thank you very much, you guys, for serving on that commission. Are you still doing one more meeting?
We're still gonna do at least one more meeting. We have not formally adjourned. There may be one more item we take up, and there may not. It's really kind of up in the air if we're gonna continue next Wednesday or if it's gonna be the last one.
Is this to go in the fall ballot? Okay.
Yes, I believe the petition deadline for submittal of the Board of Elections is like September 7th.
Okay,
So,
because we're nonpartisan, so we don't have primary.
right.
Right. Okay, excellent. All right, the next thing is to talk about our summer recess dates. So
I want to thank Mr. Toyle for doing such a great job today with filling in. I mean,
you were prepared.
He did, definitely prepared and well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle.
Wait till you get to the committee or the department head reports. before you say it.
Don't worry, I'm gonna do it in 21 seconds.
Oh, you
You
were
should-
briefed, huh?
You should talk about Rita tax refunds.
No, the chief's going to talk.
No,
All right, so I only plan on recessing June, July, and August. We're not recessing anything in September. We need to have at least one meeting a month in June, July, and August. My two suggestions are, and I've heard from people here and there. One suggestion is, and this is a new crazy idea, is to have one meeting per month in the same week. So either have the meetings the second week in June, July, and August, or the fourth week in June, July, and August. Or what we usually do is have the June meeting, then take off until the second meeting in July, and then we can either have the second week or fourth week in August. So, that being said, I have absolutely no preference. I never leave my, 200 square foot neighborhood, so.
Except for tribe game.
And we are doing the May one.
Yes,
So
ma'am, we are gonna do
Memorial
both
Day
of them, yes, we're going to
Okay,
do both
need to
in May.
cancel that. That's why I asked. So
Yeah,
you're
that
looking
one-
at the 8th in June?
Yeah, the 8th, the 22nd in June, the 13th and 27th in July, the 10th and 24th in August. So none of those really coincide with any holidays or anything. Dave, how is your baby situation going? Is your baby due in August?
Yes, on the 5th.
On the 5th. So if nothing else, Dave would probably like to not have the first August one. So let's go ahead and cancel that first one in August, if that's okay, and then we'll be back. We'll be back then on the 24th, so we'll cancel the 10th. So then the question is, what do you guys want to do for June and July? Mrs. Tully, Mr. Garvis? I know your wife is a nurse, so she has kind of limited
Yeah.
travel time. Do you know?
You caught me off guard.
Oh,
I
I'm
did not
sorry.
look at my vacation calendar, and I gotta try to find it.
Now, we're not taking off till, the staff wants to know sooner or later. We could put this off till next time, but staff would probably like to know.
Yeah, I wish I thought about this.
Dave, do you have any conflicts with those other dates? Okay,
Nope.
so you're good.
Yep.
Mrs. Tully? I know you have a lot
Oh,
of
we choose.
visiting and kids and everything, but,
Yeah, well, and I have cemeteries, so.
oh, so you have to be in town for that. So when's your cemetery meeting?
We haven't firmed it up. We're firming up the one where we'll be here in May,
Okay.
because that's the annual. So I'm fine with any of the days. I'm gonna plan a vacation, but I'll plan around it.
Okay. So, one suggestion I did have from some of the staff, they would like to have cancel June 8th, cancel July 13th. I've had another suggestion, going the opposite way, canceling June 22nd and canceling July 13th.
That sounds great.
That's for that, yeah, so council doesn't care, so now we're to the
Just
point.
pick.
What do you have any clue, Jeff?
Did you bring the wheel?
I have a feeling that when I did look at the dates that came out,
Uh-huh.
that they all fell on weeks that we weren't going to meet anyway. So even if we came twice a month, that was gonna be okay.
Okay,
So I don't think I'm too concerned right now.
okay.
If something comes up, I'll bring it
Well,
up.
then why don't, just out of thought, try and put all of this together?
I got a
Go
thought
ahead.
too, because we're gonna talk maybe about a finance meeting in July to go over the first 6 months.
Correct.
If you cancel the first meeting of each month, that gives finance time to close the 6 months, to have 6 months closed.
Okay.
So if we don't meet on the 13th, we could have that meeting on the 27th and go over the full 6 months.
I like it.
Well, I'm fine with that, so we would cancel, okay. So that definitely has us canceling the first one in July. So do you guys want the big gap between June and July? Dave's liking the big gap, the mayor likes that big gap, these guys don't like the big, you people are very hard to please. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We are going to have the June 8th meeting. We are going to cancel the June 22nd meeting. we are going to cancel the July 13th meeting. We will have the July 27th meeting. We will be canceling the August 10th meeting.
May I offer one piece of information?
Certainly.
That weekend is Spirit of Macedonia Summerfest, June 9, 10.
Okay.
There has been, this is really not in stone at all, but there has been some talk of potentially trying to offer on the Thursday the 8th, like just an employee family night of like only people associated with the city could come for that evening for maybe like a 3-hour thing or something. So I don't know if that makes a difference.
Okay, so that makes a difference how I feel, but that does change the 8-week gap, which some people like the big long gap and some people don't like the big long gap.
But
so.
but that's not, I mean, it's really just like
Yeah.
an infancy idea, so I would hate to, but I just thought I'd like to.
Yeah, look that one.
Well, what's your pleasure for June?
Move it to the 22nd, because we're meeting on the 25th. Right?
You're meeting, what, the 25th?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a council meeting.
The May, yeah.
So, it's our normal,
Okay, so we're not gonna do the big gap. Sorry, Mayor.
so move it to the
June,
22nd.
so we will have June 22nd. Everybody fix your calendars if
Mayor,
it
you
just
could
changed.
take that up with the Parks and Recreation Director.
Oh, I'm going to.
I took it up with you, it's okay.
Wait, him and his whole family will be at that event.
Maybe.
As long as I get to go on the Ferris wheel, I'm okay.
So we're canceling the 8th?
Yeah, we'll cancel the 8th. We will have the 22nd. We will have 27th. We will have the 24th. So we will be basically meeting the fourth Thursday of each month during the summer.
Consistency.
That's what you nerds asked for, so there you go.
You wrote it all down so you could make the motion.
I was gonna have Vinnie make the motion, but I'd be happy to make the motion.
Well, who's our vice president?
Jeff?
Have him make it. He's the VP.
No, he's doing the other stuff.
I can make that motion,
Yeah.
if that's what you want. I
Vinnie
can
will make
that
it,
motion.
and I'll second it.
There's another motion you
No, we're doing
And when are we
51.
setting the finance meeting for, because we're spending over $500,000.
So, I think that's a good idea, John, to do it on July 27th. Would 15 minutes or half an hour?
I will not be here.
You're just the one that suggested this.
need. Dump and run.
My 60th birthday week.
Week? So it's a week? What do you mean?
So,
Back to the drawing board.
so we just did this whole schedule. So would you have it prepared for July 13th?
We can just come in for finance.
Yeah, if you could just come in for finance.
If you just finance and on council, that'd be an hour.
Yeah, we should have enough.
So
Putting yourself to two.
when do you want to have this, since you're busy on the week of the 27th and all the rest of us are going to be on fabulous vacations?
13th is fine for just
The
a
13th?
half-hour meeting.
What time? You wanna do it at 6?
I'll be here. Yeah.
I don't know, but you guys at 6 is okay.
It does, it kind of defeats the purpose. We should just have it at before our council meeting, since we all have to be, we all have
And
to
then we get the
be
big
here.
gap in.
Well,
Yeah, the big gap is fine.
Back to the gap. Just
Or-
do the gap.
Gap is back.
Yeah.
Gap is back. The mayor
So,
kept kicking me.
yeah, so we will be, so now we are back to having the July 13th meeting. Brian's
The
not
only
even gonna
problem with
know.
having it before, we kind of rushed through it.
The what?
We rushed through it because we know I have a council meeting. We always had our finance meetings separately so you could take your time, ask questions, department heads can provide any info. Unless we're gonna give it at least an hour
But
beforehand.
we're scheduling our recesses here, and I mean, we're just telling everyone you don't have to come in for a whole week and saying, no, now you have to come in, so I want to do it on the same day. So we're gonna
Well,
do
then we
it.
gotta do it early, because
Okay.
I'm not into doing this 15 half an
Okay,
hour, because we
okay.
haven't had anything. Like I said, we're just spending over $500,000.
July 13th,
So we're not canceling July 13th?
no.
Okay, we're canceling July,
You will be canceling July 27th.
So you do.
So you still get your
Get
It's
your
just
big gap.
a big gap, it's just moved.
Just not the right big gap.
So then on
Who even
June-
knows? In the summer, man, who knows what day is what?
I think it is the right big gap, because your biggest holiday
Is,
is during Fourth of
Oh,
July
I just meant for
weekend,
the
that's
mayor.
the biggest one, because, you know,
No,
once
we'll
you
be
get into
having the
August,
July 13th.
schools is back into session the second,
Yeah.
third or fourth week of August already, they don't go like in the old days till after Labor Day.
So Vinny, you have it written down that we will cancel June 8th.
July 27th.
July 27th and August
Yeah,
10th.
Yes.
Guys,
My anniversary July 27th, so I guess I should probably go with that one. I was just thinking about.
all right, anything else, folks? Thank you so much. We will see you on the floor for all of the wonderful
We'll see you on the chair.
Good evening and welcome to the April 13th council meeting. It is 7:30 p.m. Will Mr. Hoover please call the roll?
Ms. Brandt.
Here.
Mr. Finley.
Here.
Mr. Garbus.
Here.
Ms. Tully.
Here.
Mr. Ventura.
Here.
Now I ask American Legion Chaplain Tom O'Brien to lead us in the invocation and pledge.
With bowed heads, let us pray. As we gather here this evening, we acknowledge the importance of this city council meeting and the decisions that will be made. We humbly ask for your guidance and wisdom to help us navigate the challenges that we face as a community. We ask that you grant us the patience and understanding to listen to one another and work together towards the common goals with respect and compassion. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve our community and make a positive difference in the lives of our fellow citizens. We ask for your continued blessing and support as we strive to uphold the values of justice, fairness, and equality. May we be inspired by the strength and resilience of our community and work tirelessly to make our city a better place for all who call it home. As we begin this meeting, let us commit ourselves to the task at hand with a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. May we approach each agenda item with an open mind and a willingness to hear different perspectives. May we speak and act with clarity and conviction, and always keep in mind the best interests of our community. We offer this invocation with hope and optimism, knowing that together we can achieve great things. Amen. And now with hand over heart, please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. So it's always nice to have company. We usually have a whopping 0 people here, so I'm happy to see a crowd. Thanks for coming. We have a lot to get through with all of you, so just bear with me for a moment, please. First up on our agenda would be the Arbor Day proclamation.
Whereas a special day is set aside for the planting of trees, and this holiday called Arbor Day is observed in the city of Macedonia as well as throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and wherever they are planted are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clear the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas I urge all citizens to support efforts to protect and nurture our trees and urban forests, not just for the beauty they provide, but for the benefits they give our residents and community. And whereas trees in the urban forest reduces the symptoms of ADD and ADHD and improves the concentration of school-aged children, allowing them to perform better in school and make better life choices, and therefore are valuable assets for our schools and educators teaching our next generation. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Nick Molnar, Mayor of the City of Macedonia, do hereby proclaim April 21st as Arbor Day in the City of Macedonia, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations, dated this 21st day of April, 2023.
Thank you. Next up, we'll recognize Ms. Karen Nelson. And it reads, whereas Karen Nelson has been appointed as one of our very own dispatchers since 2011. And this certificate of appreciation comes with perfect timing as we celebrate National Telecommunications Week. Whereas Karen Nelson has been named 2022-2023 Dispatcher of the Year by the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of Ohio. That's a big deal. That's a round of applause right there. Continues on, whereas Karen excelled in the following criteria to achieve this honor: recognition by their colleagues or those they serve, consistent excellence in the performance of their duties, consistent dedication to their official responsibilities over a period of years, and continuous growth in responsibilities and skills within their profession. Wherein Karen has certainly demonstrated all the criteria for many years, and we are so happy that she was chosen from a vast pool of nominees throughout the state of Ohio. Congratulations, Karen. We are very We are immensely proud of you. Now therefore, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, and on behalf of our governing body, all of our citizens, I do hereby tender this certificate of appreciation to Karen Nelson, extending our best wishes to her and her entire family for such success.
First of all, I'd like to say I was extremely honored to be nominated, and then when I found out that I was the recipient, I was very humbled by it all. I work with a great group of dispatchers, I really do. Our chief has said, we are the best of the best. Daily, I just try to do better for myself. As my grandson will say, new me, new day. So whether it's listening a little more, trying something new, learning something, that's my achievement, my goal every day. I also, since it's Telecommunicators Week, our dispatch center is really, for those of you who don't know, we are great. We are diverse, but when all of our strengths and weaknesses work together so that we have a successful department. We all have the same goal, the safety of the community, for our officers, for the firefighters, for EMS. So I also share this with all of my dispatchers, also Kim and Jessica are in here. So thank you.
Just very briefly, I go in there sometimes and I'll tell you what, that is a chaotic, crazy place to be. It makes me anxious to step in there, and I give you guys, especially today, but all of you, all the credit in the world. I could not do that. I would just lose my mind with all the phones ringing and people talking, and I give you all the credit in the world. And everyone that lives here definitely appreciates that, so thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. So next up, we are going to promote Mr. Costello. We've kind of already done this, but this is more of a ceremonial piece of it because I think it's appropriate to have your family here. We'll go through this again. Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Christian Costello.
I, Christian Costello.
Do solemnly swear and affirm.
Solemnly swear and affirm.
And affirm that I shall uphold and support.
And shall uphold and support.
In word and spirit.
Word and spirit.
The Constitution of the United States of America.
The Constitution of the United States of America.
The Constitution of the State of Ohio.
The Constitution of the State of Ohio.
All laws of federal and state.
All laws, federal and state.
The charter, ordinances, and resolutions.
The charter, ordinances, and resolutions.
Of the City of Macedonia.
Of the City of Macedonia.
And that I shall faithfully.
I shall faithfully.
Honestly and impartially.
Honestly and impartially.
Discharge my duties as Executive Lieutenant.
Discharge my duties as Executive Lieutenant.
During my term of office as I shall answer to God.
During my term of office as I shall answer to God.
Congratulations. So what I'll say is I've gotten to know Lieutenant Costello over the years. I think he's a great guy. He has a wonderful family. If you want to learn how to box out, I'll show you. Basketball, but the floor is yours, sir.
Got to follow Karen's speech. Mine's not going to be nearly as long. I'll make it longer than the chief did. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming early. I really appreciate all the support, everybody coming out from everybody I work with here at the department, all my fellow SWAT team members that came out. Big thank you goes to my family, especially my wife, who's put up with me for the last 6 months of this process. As the chief can attest, it hasn't been an easy process to go through with all the testing and everything we did, but now it's over. I'm really happy to take over the position of lieutenant. Also like to thank the city and the mayor.
You want to introduce your family too?
Yeah, sure. So my wife, the one crying over here, my daughter, Riley, my youngest son, Landon, and my middle son, Cole. And all sorts of other family. My parents, my in-laws, my brother, his niece, or my niece, and his girlfriend, and their
Congratulations.
top that, you certainly can't top Karen. But I want to welcome you. I really do.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And, you know, this is a big deal. We talked about how long Chief Golden was in office, and we got a new police chief. Well, I looked it up today. June will be 19 years that position's been held. So I highly doubt you'll be there long enough. I'm sure you'll have this uniform very shortly, the next couple of years, I'm sure. You certainly, you know, have the ability to get there. So, and Karen, and I'm glad you called Kim and Jessica out, because I told Brian, I gotta do this. But you beat me to it, so I don't have to, they're not mad at me for embarrassing them, but you called out to be here, and congratulations. And we appreciate the work all you guys do. So.
Mayor, if I might add, since everyone is in the room, last year we had a survey by ISO, which rates fire departments. And one of the components of that is communications. A large component of that is dispatch, as you might imagine. There's a possible 10 points we could get out of communications, and we got 10. I won't call them perfect, because I don't think anything's perfect, but they're darn near perfect, and they got a perfect score. That's for all of them. So it's something I'm very proud of, and they only work for me. So they need to know that, and the public needs to know that.
Technically do work for you.
We all work together.
Next up, Ty, would you join me, please? I'm going to do this separately. We're going to do the boys first. If the boys volunteer to come up. Don't get silly, so you guys can look here. I know you don't. So, certificate of recognition for the boys bowling team, whereas we acknowledge that active participation in organized athletics is influential to building good character and teaches a wholesome sense of fair play and good sportsmanship among our youth. And whereas to excel in any one sport, a young person must demonstrate an outstanding spirit of dedication, enthusiasm, and art. A vivid example of this has been brought to our attention by the achievements of the Macedonia Knights bowling team, as they had an outstanding 2022-2023 year. Whereas the boys team led by seniors Bryce Lewin, R.J. Lewis, Jeremy Patterson, and Matt Willis had a strong season, finishing with a 12-1 record, winning the Suburban League. The team also comprised of bowlers Ryan Freyhoff, Drew Kitzmiller, Caden Belanda, and Josh Ware went on to win both sectional and district tournament. The boys found themselves at the state tournament, finishing 6th place in the division. Whereas this year, the Suburban League named senior Bryce Lewin Boys Bowler of the Year, with first team honors in the Suburban League were R.J. Lewis, Matt Willis, and Ryan Freyhoff. Honorable mention was given to Jeremy Patterson. Whereas the boys and girls season was an overall success, Coach Ty Wachowski, Jackie Voleski, and Nolan Kostolka are proud of these teams and are excited for the future hopes of the Macedonia Knights bowling teams. Therefore, I do proclaim April 13th to be Macedonia Knights Bowling Team Day in our city, and extend my personal congratulations to those of all our citizens who appreciate the team's athletic prowess and wish them success in future competitions. Congratulations, gentlemen.
So my seniors, I've had for 4 years, and I know during our awards banquet it brought a tear to my eye to see them move on, and it's going to happen again. But what a great bunch of young men, and to watch them develop through the years, and just a great bunch of kids.
Introduce yourselves, and if you're going to school, kind of tell us where you're headed.
Yeah, my name is R.J. Lewis. Yesterday I just committed. I'm going to the University of Northwestern Ohio for a bowling commit. So I'll be taking next 4 years going there and studying sports and marketing management.
Hi, I'm Bryce Lewin. I currently go to the Ohio State University, and I attend as well there as well. And I'm going to be studying data analytics. I'm Drew Kitzmiller. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm Josh Ware. I also I'm 80 years old.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Sorry, I gotta be a little redundant, but this is for good reason why I'm doing this separately. It says, whereas we acknowledge that active participation in organized athletics is influential to build good character and teaches a wholesome sense of fair play and good sportsmanship among our youth. Whereas to excel in any one sport, a young person must demonstrate an outstanding spirit of dedication, enthusiasm, and hard work. A vivid example of this has been brought to our attention by the achievements of the Macedonia Knights girls bowling team, as they had an outstanding year. The girls team, led by Haley Whitten, had an impressive season, winning the Suburban League with a 12-1 overall record. The team also comprised of Chloe Lewin, Abby Barnowski, Brooke Barnes, Caitlin McNutt, Grace and Alexis DeMarco went out to place third in sectionals and fourth in district. The fourth place district finish brought the girls team to their first ever state tournament in Macedonia history. While in Columbus, the girls bowlers made history, becoming the first female team from Macedonia to win a state title, coming in first in Division I. This year, the Suburban League named junior Colby Lewin Girls Bowler of the Year, with first team honors in the Suburban League were Caitlin McNutt and Grace. The second team honors were Haley Whitten and Brooke Barnes. Honorable mention was given to Abby Tornowski. The bowling season was an overall success. Coach Ty Wachowski, Jackie Oleski, and Nolan Kostolka are proud of these teams and are excited for what the future holds for the Macedonia Knights bowling teams. Now, therefore, I do proclaim April 13th, 2023 to be Macedonia Knights Bowling Team Day in our city and extend them my personal congratulations and those of all our citizens who appreciate the team's athletic prowess and wish them success in future competitions. I had the opportunity to attend the Winter Sports Awards. Sorry, folks, that's why I wasn't at the last meeting. My daughter plays basketball. They were the only sports team that didn't win anything, so you guys are pretty awesome at what you did, because winning a state title is absolutely amazing. That doesn't happen every day. When I heard that, I said, I gotta give them a That's absolutely amazing. I can't give you guys enough credit for what you did, because I'm a big fan of sports of any kind. I thought that was amazing, so Coach, it's all yours.
These girls right here, it was amazing how I took over the girls program this year too. So this was my first year really with the girls, and the way these girls grew this year, and they were an awesome team. Actually with the boys too. This year the boys and girls teams were so tight knit, and how they interacted with each other and stuff. They all knew where each other were all the time and stuff. It was pretty funny. But these girls right here, the way they fought all year long, and just, they know how I feel about it. But just an awesome season. And when we won that state title, I know Colby threw the first strike, and it was like, oh my goodness, we just won the state title. And I said, Colby, get the next one. She threw the next one. And I even wrote down the wrong score of the last game. Because it was just a blur after that, but it was so exciting.
You want to introduce yourself, please?
So, I'm Haley Whitten. I'm the only senior. I'm going to John Carroll University in the fall for a coach.
I'm Chloe Lynn. I'm a junior. I'm Brooke Barnes. I'm a junior. I'm Abby Taronsky. I'm a junior.
I'm Grace Pistafka. I'm a sophomore. I'm Caitlin McNutt, and I'm also a sophomore.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now, if you all have the burning desire and want to sit in this meeting, you can, but if you don't, you might be.
Look at the exodus.
Let's go. Something happened.
You know, those two. We can't get in trouble. That's what these two are.
And that going this way.
said we can't get
Exit?
Good to see you.
It's 8:30 by the time I get on mic.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Part one done.
This is going to be
Well, it was redundant. I felt like I probably could have done it differently.
I was going to say, this is going to cut it.
Just want to get to the crux of the substance.
30 seconds. She said it's
You have more room now, baby. You have more room now.
Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the Thursday, March 23rd, 2023 regular council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Public comments, we have none this evening. Do we have any correspondence?
Yes, sir, we have two. First is a letter from the Twinsburg Fire Department to our own Chief Ripley. It says, Chief, it is with an abundance of gratitude that my personnel and I note the integral part your fire crew played in the successful rescue of 2 victims from a working fire, the subsequent extinguishment of the fire, and the care of the victims. The providing of emergency services is always a team effort, and we are grateful to be able to rely on our neighbors when the team needs to be temporarily expanded for an event like this. Your personnel performed admirably, and the Twinsburg Fire Department wants to commend them for all their efforts. With warmest thanks, Chief Timothy Morgan, and the personnel on the scene were Captain Dave Chesnick and fire medics Jim Ferris, Meredith Hurley, Brian Mitchell, and John Schwab. And then we also received an email from Russ Mazzola to Chief Ripley. It says, our family would like to send a thank you note to the first responders that assisted our family on January 31st, the day my father-in-law passed away. Although there was nothing they could do to save him, your staff and the 2 police officers that were there were incredibly supportive and professional to our family. I was the first of the family to get to the house, and while I was trying to process what happened, your staff was compassionate and respectful. This made the situation just a little bit easier. For that, we are grateful. Please ensure you pass along our sincere gratitude to the staff listed below, as well as the 2 police officers, one of which was from the same city and high school that I attended and knew both my family and my wife's. Their actions and empathy that they showed was not unnoticed, and I thank them and yourself for having an outstanding team of professionals. Their jobs are not easy, and our family wishes them all the best and be safe as they do their jobs to take care of our community. With sincere gratitude, Russ and Trish Mazzola from Northfield Center, and the fire personnel on the scene were Captain Dave Chesnick, Fire Medic Mike Jaskolka, Fire Medic Matt Harmon, Fire Medic Anthony Lewicki, and Fire Medic Bill Rogers, along with Police Personnel Officer Ashley Berensfeld and Officer Chris Neal. That was it.
Anything you want to add, Chief? That's pretty amazing stuff.
No, it's kind of like what we do every day, and the staff enjoys their job even at difficult times, and it shows it has an impact, you know, how they care, and it translates well.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, moving into pending or new legislation, starting with ordinance number 41, 2023.
Mayor, I'd like to present ordinance number 41, 2023 for its first, second, and third readings by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance establishing the municipal fund Recreation Trust Fund 703 for certain Parks and Recreation Department revenue.
Mr. Doyle?
I told him I would cover him on this one. We currently have a Spirit of Macedonia fund, which allows for contributions, donations towards that event. This fund, you know, should it be approved, will handle all other activities that somebody might want to donate to at the Family Rec Center.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion to pass and post ordinance.
Would you like?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I would like to make an amendment.
If you would like to amend, it would be a motion to amend section 1 of ordinance 41, 2023 to exclude the accumulation of any sponsorship funds received by the rec department concerning the Spirit of Macedonia Summerfest.
I'd like to make a motion of the same.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now what is your pleasure?
Now, I would like to make a motion to pass and post ordinance 41, 2023 and post it into law.
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 41 carries. Ordinance number 42.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 42, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council in order to accept energized community grants.
So essentially what this is we get dollars from NOPEC that we have utilized for the new lights on the second lit ball field at Longwood Park. This is the second of 3 years in which we're utilizing those funds. I believe it's in the amount of $37,000 and some change, but don't quote me on the exact amount. So, any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I ask that we pass and post according to law. Ordinance number 42, 2023, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? Ordinance 42 carries. Ordinance number 43.
Yes, Mayor, I offer ordinance number 43, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Nations Bus Sales for the purchase of a 2022 Eldorado Advanced Ford Transit bus for the City of Macedonia services and programming without the necessity of advertisement and formal bidding.
So we've been talking about this for quite some time, and I've been asked by many groups within the community if we will ever have a bus. It's finally happening. It's coming into fruition. One of the things this bus will be utilized for, if passed today, is for our seniors. We have a lot of things that we're planning for with Ms. Kuzma in the fire department and her having an assistant to help with this, but having trips for our seniors and anything we do within the community. So this will be a really nice piece of equipment that we can use to transport people to different things, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to our community. And with that, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 43, 2023, and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed?
Aye.
Could you do a roll call,
Which is
please?
a no.
Ms. Brandt?
Yes.
Mr. Finley?
Yes.
Mr. Garvis?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
No.
Mr. Ventura?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 43 carries. I didn't want any confusion there. I'm sorry. Ordinance number 44.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance 44, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Statewide Ford, Inc. for the purchase of 5 Ford Explorers and outfitting of vehicles for the city police department without the necessity of advertisement and formal bidding.
Chief?
This is just another step along the way of trying to secure patrol cars. I mean, we've been through this now for years. We can't get our orders filled. Originally, the order was canceled. Then they said they would give us 3. We negotiated with the dealer, got another 2 of the Interceptors. So as of now, 3 have been delivered, 2 are supposedly on the way. But we need to pass this so we can go ahead and make this official and get financing on the next ordinance and move on from there.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
Mayor, I move that we pass and post ordinance 44, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 44 carries. Ordinance number 45.
I move to offer ordinance number 45, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Huntington Public Capital Corporation to finance the purchase of a new equipment for the police department.
Mr. Veras?
As the chief mentioned, this is how we're going to finance the purchase of the Interceptors and the outfitting of those vehicles.
For the purchase of the Explorers.
Well, they're really Interceptors.
I'm not familiar with the terminology, thank you.
Yeah, they are Ford Explorers.
They're technically Explorers,
But they're-
commonly known as Interceptors as...
It's the package made for police.
I only know what's in the title, so. Thank you.
And what's your pleasure?
I move to adopt ordinance number 45, 2023 and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Ordinance 45 carries. Ordinance number 46.
I'd like to make a motion to present ordinance number 46, 2023 for its first, second, and third readings by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract with El Faticchio and Son, Inc. for the Longwood Park Multipurpose Field Expansion Project.
Mr. Doyle.
This project is, after the bid process has been completed, we'll accept the best bid that we have been presented with. This project is part of our pre-planned capital, and if weather permitting, the project will be started and finished during the month of May.
Any further discussion?
How many bids did we get?
3.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I move that we pass ordinance 46, 2023 and post the same according to law.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 46 carries. Ordinance number 47.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 47, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase and installation of a fire alarm system for City Hall in an amount not to exceed $150,000.
I'll ask Director Collins to come speak to this if he could for a moment.
Thanks, Mayor. This is to replace the fire suppression, the fire alarm system in the building here. It's going to replace the communication cards, which are no longer supported by the manufacturer and have been failing for the past 5 or 6 years. So much so that dispatch has worn out the silence button that turns off the alarm telling them that one of the cards is failing. This is definitely something I support, and it's something that I would hope we could pass 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
Ask that we pass and post according to law. Ordinance number 47, 2023, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance number 47 carries. Ordinance number 48.
Yes, I'd like to offer ordinance number 48, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to participate in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2023.
Director Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is a bit of housekeeping, as we do every year. This is permission to enter into contract with ODOT for the salt contracts for 23 and 24. We are looking to purchase up to 90%, or at least 90% of 3,000 ton in 23 and 24. We scaled it back a little bit from 4,000 ton the previous year. But so that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I'd like to offer ordinance number 48 and adopt it and post according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 48 carries. Resolution 49.
I move to offer resolution number 49, 2023 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution authorizing the disposition of certain municipal property by the City of Macedonia Police Department in accordance with the City of Ohio Codified Ordinance Section 121.05 and Ohio Revised Code Section 721.15.
Chief.
These 3 vehicles
A lot
are
of reading today.
end of life for us. One of them's a 2013 Dodge Charger. It did its time as a patrol car, then it was transferred to the Detective Bureau. The other was a 2014 Ford Interceptor, is really what the term for the Explorer, that's the police package. It is the Interceptor. It was also a patrol car, cycled to the Detective Bureau. They both have well over 100,000 miles, and they're done. The other one was the Smart Car that we actually got as a abandoned vehicle. We applied for title and received that, and we used that as the SRO vehicle. But when we got it, it had some issues then, and it's done. You know, Ohio winters, you know, they don't work with, you know, all the time these cars are spinning up and down the interstate and the roads. They're just of no use to us, and they need to go.
Thank you, Chief Yakupovich. Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I move to adopt resolution number 49, 2023 and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 49 carries. Ordinance number 50.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 50, 2023 for its first reading. By title only, thank you.
An ordinance providing for submission to the electors of the City of Macedonia a proposed amendment to Section 11.01 of the Charter regarding the composition of the Board of Zoning and Building Code Appeals.
Councilor Garvis?
This is one of two items that are coming to council tonight from the Charter Review Commission. This is something that was raised with the commission by the building commissioner and members of the BZA. Today, there are 5 members of the BZA, and it was suggested that there would be a benefit to having alternates on the BZA, so that if there were either a vacancy or if there was a known absence that could be planned for, one of the alternates could fill in. And for the benefit of the people coming to those BZA meetings, there would always be 5 members of the BZA hearing their appeal. And I think that's the gist of it. Mark, have I missed anything?
That's the gist of it, yep.
And just the only thing I'd like to point out, for those that might be watching online, this is to put this issue on the ballot for the fall, so that the electorate could vote on if this would be approved or denied to modify the charter.
Thank you. Ordinance number 51.
I'd like to offer ordinance number 51, 2023 for its first reading by title only.
An ordinance providing for submission to the electors of the City of Macedonia, a proposed amendment to Article 13 of the Charter regarding Parks and Recreation.
Would you like this one? Or
I'll be more than happy to tackle it. So this is another issue that the Charter Review Commission took under advisement. It came from the Parks and Recs director, and basically what we've done here is a little bit of cleanup in the charter to reflect the way that the city operates between the naming of the department versus the commission or the former committee. And another more, I think, substantial thing that we addressed in this one is currently the director of the recreation department is sort of recommended or advised by the commission, and that's not the way that we operate. The director of that department is chosen by the mayor and appointed. So this brings things into alignment with the way that we do things. And again, it's an item that will end up on, if council passes it, will end up on the ballot this fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other motions or legislative actions?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to propose a motion concerning our summer recess. I propose that make a motion to cancel the council meeting on June 8th, July 27th, and August 10th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any other motions or legislative actions? Hearing none, I'll move into the mayor's report. Mayor's court report. God, I cannot speak today. The mayor's court report revenue for March of 2023 was $48,936. I'm going to be brief today because I think I've spoken enough, but I want to celebrate our telecommunicators. For those called to public service, being calm and professional is just part of the job. However, we sometimes take for granted how rare it is to have the ability to focus on a number of diverse tasks while simultaneously asking questions and reassuring a distraught caller or delivering pre-arrival instructions to a child whose parent has collapsed. Each one of the telecommunicators, i.e. our dispatchers, represents the best of the best. Thank you for the life-saving work and dedication to all our officers, residents, and beyond. You have accepted the challenge to serve your community with diligence, dedication, and courageous resilience. Your work and contribution to our communities does not go unnoticed, and I want to thank them as much as I possibly can. I'm pretty sure, Chief, you wrote that, but I wanted to put that out because it was so well written.
I have to give my wife partial credit for that too. It's probably more her than me as well. So,
well, it just so happens she's a dispatcher, so she's good at what she does. Secondly, I want to wish Director Guidetti a happy birthday. Today's his birthday. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm sure that's the way you want to do it.
My pleasure.
I also want to congratulate our junior councilman, Vinny Milianta here. He was accepted to South Florida University, so congratulations to you, sir.
Hey, congratulations. What are you going for?
Business management, they go to law school.
Business.
And he has to go to tough Florida to do that.
That's just horrible. You know, it's going to be terrible for you, I'm sure.
As long as it's not Fort Lauderdale today.
But they have bugs and gators, so that kind of.
Yeah, that's nothing. So congratulations again. And please don't drive distracted. Put down the phones and drive the car. Okay, committee reports.
Our next Parks and Recreation Committee meeting will be April 19th at 6 o'clock in the upstairs meeting room, and it's a public meeting. That's all.
The Charter Review Commission will probably hold its last meeting next Wednesday on the 19th at 6 p.m. If anyone has anything that they'd like the commission to consider, please get it to me
prior to next Wednesday.
Okay, also, there will be a Finance Committee meeting of the whole on July 13th. Time to be determined, probably once we get the agenda, we will determine the time about a half an hour before the work session starts.
An hour.
Hour?
Yeah.
The cemetery will have their annual meeting here. We're still deciding if it'll be the first or the second council meeting. But the cemetery will be coming in to present the budget and any issues that they've come with. There's also and I will ask them to bring it up at the meeting, there's a historical item that we need to celebrate this year, but I won't mention what it is. I'll let the administrator do it.
Cemetery surprise.
Cemetery, not the Old Northfield. This is a cemetery.
Excellent.
Cemetery and surprise in the same sentence seems a little off to me, but
It'll be fun.
I'll wait to see what that's about. Any other committee reports? Okay, department reports. Director Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, take a look at the lobby on your way out. Our crews did a fantastic job, highly skilled. You can email me your vote, thumbs up or thumbs down. Also, with the lobby, I'm currently looking into bulletproof glass for the court area. We're getting some pricing on that kind of thing. Unfortunately, we have to do that, but I think it's the best move. Guys in the field are working on spring restoration. We're looking at, plow damage and spreading topsoil and seed in areas that we need it. If you have anything like that in your neighborhood, let us know. And as far as equipment goes, our mechanics are going through all the snow plows and trucks and everything. We're trying to stay proactive, trying to create a proactive fleet. So like our leaf machines are already ready to go. We're not waiting until the fall, we're not waiting until December to see if we have any fire trucks ready. So that helps with, the finance department as well to kind of spread it out a little bit and it's not all at once. So that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Director Gelati.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just an update on some projects that Council's already passed. The work on the emergency driveway improvements is scheduled to begin a little bit later this month. We continue to coordinate with our police and fire chiefs on the logistics of that work to minimize any impacts to their operations. And road paving is scheduled to begin in late May, and as always, we will alert all affected residents on all of those roads in advance of any of that work.
How do you do that alert, just so everyone knows?
By mail.
Thank you. Mr. Doyle.
Thank you, Mayor. Spring soccer for the Recreation Department. Spring soccer starts this weekend. Field and trail maintenance is ongoing as well. Next weekend, April 22nd, is Spring Fest. That will include Earth Day cleanup and a celebration of Arbor Day. Some bullet points about that event that are key to know. There are dumpsters that have been delivered today. They are located in front of City Hall for community use. They will be available for 2 weeks. If you would like to volunteer for Spring Fest for helping to clean up, you can go to macrec.com and follow the link to sign up. That will include some fitness classes. There'll be a craft fair, a plant swap, the tree sapling giveaway, and the city will plant 2 new trees in front of the Mac Rec later this spring. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Veras.
Thank you, Mayor. It's tax season. We are processing Macedonia resident refunds, and that due date is July 17th. Monday, unless your RETA extension, unless you have a RETA extension, then we will honor that extension date for your Macedonia refund. End of my report.
I think you set a record with the length of that one. Congratulations. Yeah. Chief Ripley.
That's the first time you did it without having to read it. I just want to point that out. And John, I will volunteer for spring break. Starting Monday, our hydrant crew is going out. We've actually very fortunate. We've been able to employ 3 retired gentlemen from the City of Cleveland Water Department. So I suspect they're going to get done earlier than we normally would. and they're getting an early start being in April, which I'm very happy about. Also, like, even though they're all gone, congratulate Lieutenant Costello. Worked with him a long time, like most of the employees. I was here when he got here. I've seen his growth. Look forward to working with him even more in the future. And that's the end of your report, Mayor.
Thank you. Chief Yakupovich.
Well, I appreciated Chief Ripley for basically saying everything I was going to say about Lieutenant Costello, but I look forward to working with Christian. It's hard to believe I was telling his father, you know, I was a detective sergeant when I was doing his background when I hired him. Shortly after that, I was promoted to lieutenant, and now, 19 years later, here we are. So I look forward to working with him there, and congratulations to him. Also, congratulations to Karen Nelson on her award. And the dispatchers, and I appreciate you reading that because it is important. You know, the National Telecommunicators Appreciation Week, it's so, to me, like, honestly, they're probably upset because they probably put on a couple pounds this week. Because between Chief Ripley and I know the mayor, there's been several, Director Guidetti, a lot of people. You know, there's treats, there's food, but just knowing that they're appreciated. This week, they're all shining and standing a little taller because, honestly, they are the backbone. And like Chief Ripley said before, you know, to get 100% on the ISO assessment, that's remarkable. And they strive to do the best they can every call. And we appreciate them. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Director Collins.
Caught me off guard. I didn't realize Bob wasn't here. 32 help desk tickets since the last meeting. Major projects are a new link between the rec center and the press box so I can expand some Wi-Fi coverage into the park, as well as purchasing and setting up some new desks for the police department with their changes of employee positions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, and happy birthday to Mr. Guidetti.
Thank you. Okay, next up is the birthday boy, Mr. Director Guidetti.
Just a note on the two charter proposals. In the event that charter does pass that, the deadline for the Board of Elections submittal, I believe, is 60 days before the November 7th election, which would put it in September. And prior to that occurring, the city has a statutory required notice to go out, so everybody will see the full text there. It'll also be available in Clerk Hoover's office in the event council does pass them.
Thank you. Any unfinished business?
I'd also like to say happy birthday. Do you also know it's Rachel Rulbach's birthday?
No, I did not
Yeah,
know
the
that.
two of you have the same day.
Who knew?
Wild.
I should have known, I guess,
Yeah.
but
I don't know how old you are, but I know how old she is. I think you're a year younger.
41, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews' favorite number?
Somebody has a tattoo.
I know, I've seen it before. Any new business?
I would just like to say thank you to the dispatch center, and I also want to thank, you know, the chiefs and the dispatch and the mayor and everyone for making sure that we keep a dispatch department in the city and that we're not going outsourcing or going outside the community or to join an aggregate or something. It's really important. There are benefits to both types of systems, but the fact that the voters and the taxpayers allow us to keep this in our city, I think, is great. To have, you know, you don't get a 10 on your ISO if you're not that dedicated to one particular city and one particular department. So I think that's great. So thank you all for that, and thank you to the taxpayers for that. And I also want to mention, if anyone, concerning NOPEC and your electricity rates, you should get a notice from NOPEC in the mail. Don't throw it out, open it up and read it. There's some good information in there. If you still have questions about NOPEC, how it works and how the electricity rates are going to work this year, there is a meeting at 4 o'clock downstairs in the community room on April 17th. There's also virtual meetings. If you go to nopec.org, you can find links to them. They're on April 18th, April 22nd, and April 27th, so you can get more information about NOPEC. And you can also always give them a call, or you can even call the mayor or council member Tully. They're both very involved with NOPEC and help bring it to our community. And, you know, one of the benefits of being part of NOPEC and residents using NOPEC is not only to save everyone money, which I know is sometimes hard to believe with the rates, but in the long run you do. But you see that we got this grant for our ball fields. we've used for that, and in the past, we've also used NOPEC grants to light in the rec center. So, you know,
Here too.
in
City
this
Hall.
building too, and that ends up ultimately saving us money because we have LED lights. So NOPEC is beneficial for our community. I know it's hard to understand how it works sometimes, and there's a lot of misinformation. So you can look on the city's Facebook page to get those dates for those meetings, or go to nopec.org. And there's meetings other places in the community, or in the Northeast Ohio area too, if you can't make that any of those. That's all I have to say, other than happy birthday, Mr. Guidetti.
That's also on our website and our social media, and if you have any questions, please call them. One thing I want to point out with NOPEC that's very important, and I always drive this point home, they're the only nonprofit out there. So think about that when you're choosing your supplier. They're not out there to make profit. I mean, everything they give back, so it's a nonprofit organization. You can imagine how that works when the profit people come and see the nonprofit and how they attack them, and some of the things that you've seen out in the media, and I can't say much more than that, but nonprofit, huge.
Yeah, I'd also like to add, I got mine in the mail today, so you'll probably get yours this week.
I actually got
The
mine
NOPEC paper came in the mail. If you don't understand what NOPEC is, look up aggregator. An aggregator goes out as an entity to get the best rates for people. If you went by yourself, it's not going to happen. It's not just in the electric gas, it's also in the telecommunication world. I have one other real quick thing, Chief.
Can I add to that before you go on?
Yeah.
The opt-out that you get in the mail is by law. They have to send an opt-out by law. You don't have to opt out. That's entirely your choice as a consumer of the products you use. But by law, they have to send the opt-out in the mail.
Okay. Real quick on the side streets, such as Berkshire, you know, Bradford, all the little ones, is it legal to pass somebody because the person who's driving is doing the speed limit?
I didn't quite hear, if they're doing the speed limit, is it legal to pass them?
I'm driving the speed limit, and somebody decides, because I'm going the speed limit, they want to pass me, and they do. But there's no yellow line down any of those side streets.
Yeah.
So is it legal for them to pass?
Well, no. And there's a lot of different reasons why. Number one, if you're going the speed limit, to pass you, they have to go faster. That's number one. Number two, there's ordinances on no passing zones in general, okay? It doesn't, not all streets have to have a double yellow. There's curves, there's hills, there's a lot, but no. If that's happening regularly, please get in touch with me and I'll have somebody in the area if we could determine a time that it's typically happening.
Thank you. I just wanted to reinforce the fact that, no.
Yeah. So,
you do the speed limit.
yeah.
We should quiz him on laws and traffic laws and regulations.
I'm going to start bringing the ordinance book, or honestly, it's up there, but not like it
I
was
also want to
15
say
years
thank
ago.
you. I got a compliment from some other people too on Route 82. The surprises.
I actually got a compliment today from a gentleman who had an issue on 82, and somebody passed him very aggressively, the same thing, and there was one of the patrol sergeants right there to stop that car and issue a citation. So we're there. We're doing the best we can.
Well, I'm not going to tell them where they were because I don't want them to know.
Oh, yeah.
I think the surprise is better.
They're not in
But
the same
remember,
place
if it
twice.
doesn't work, bring the geese back. Have them cross the road. It's amazing how people will stop for the geese, but not for the guy who's trying to cross the road. It amazes me. Thank you, though.
Hey, Mayor.
I'd like to piggyback off Council President Brandt about the Communications Division. I want to give kudos to both of you because you were both part of the administration back then and continue now when a regional system tried absorbing us, and you fought that and kept it here, just like everybody has noted. I'm one of those, I've been in the public service and in the emergency services for almost 50 years, and you get to know the communications people behind those phones and radios and stuff. They get to know their people even though they don't get a chance to see them. They get to know them by voice and by name. They know the regulars, they know who really needs help, and they have that compassion for those people. It builds up. If we were absorbed into a regional system, you would not have that. They don't care who we are up north here, not a bit. So I commend you on that, and I hope you continue to do that if that ever comes up again. I am not in favor of a regional communication system in any way, shape, or form.
I know how important you like to end your reports, and you didn't say that. And this is the first month that the new distracted.
I said it.
I don't think you did.
I said
Yeah,
it.
he did.
Did you?
You weren't listening,
See, if
man.
you weren't paying attention.
Okay.
He totally said it.
Did you mention the new
No.
policy?
Well, the new law goes into effect for distracted driving 6 months from April 4th, I believe was the date on there.
But April 4th is when it started.
It starts, but it's a
They've already
warning.
started doing
But
it.
just know 6 months from April 4th, and trust me, we're going to be talking about it a lot, about why that's not a good idea. So don't drive distracted.
Do we have it on our website?
Not yet.
Okay.
And I'm confused, was Mark's birthday on our website, or was the NOPEC information on the website?
Today's Mark's birthday? Oh, happy birthday.
He's
Mark.
41.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn and wish Mark a happy birthday.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Happy
We are
birthday.
adjourned.